When I was thinking about returning to the Catholic Church, I wrestled with certain issues, one of which was the doctrine of the Eucharist, that is, whether the Eucharist is in fact really the body and blood of Christ, the sacrament of penance, the question of justification, apostolic succession. And as part of my research and trying to figure out what the right answers are to those issues, I read some of the Church Fathers. And one of the things I discovered while reading the Church Fathers was that there were very, very rarely, if ever, defenses of these particular, at least in my mind at the time, contested doctrines. They were just assumed to be true. So they just assumed that apostolic succession was true. They just assumed that the Eucharist was the body and blood of Christ. They assumed penance, and they assumed the role of works in exercising the cooperating grace that God gives you. But what were the issues, though, that divided people in the early church? Well, those were the issues for which the church had to convene councils. They were the deity of Christ, the Trinity, questions about to figure out how to properly understand the human and divine aspects of Christ's nature. Ironically, those are the issues today over which Protestants and Catholics universally agree, these latter issues, whereas the other ones are the ones they disagree on, and yet those are the issues that were not controversial in the early church. Now, it turns out, though, that the ones that were controversial were resolved by an ecclesial mechanism that Protestants deny have any authority. And so for me, this was a sort of game changer. I all of a sudden began seeing the church in its history as being Catholic and a lot less Protestant. Because I saw in the early church a different dynamic about the relationship between Scripture and the authority of the church, it made me think, when it comes to who has the burden in the question of between the church and me, should I return to the church of my baptism, or should I remain a Protestant? All of a sudden, seeing that the church had been Catholic from the beginning, all of a sudden I realized the burden is really on me, not on the church. That is, I'm in schism in relation to the church, and I have to show that that is justified. It isn't up to the church to show that it is justified. And that was a paradigm shift. And I no longer, ironically, even though I now felt that I had the burden, it was great in one sense. So in terms of having the logical burden, yeah, things changed, but in terms of liberating me, I no longer felt as a evangelical philosopher that I had the weight of theology on my shoulders to figure everything out, that a lot of this stuff had been done for me by my predecessors in the church, and I had inherited it. And for someone in my line of work, a Christian philosopher, that was an incredible liberation. I believe that the church councils are a wonderful place at which we can talk to our Protestant brothers and sisters in terms of what we have in common, but to also show them that Christians were divided right down the middle on this. So Arius of Alexandria, who took the position that Jesus, or the pre-incarnate Word, was made but not begotten, held a much different view than Athanasius, who took the position that he was begotten and not made, right? But they read the same Bible. They appealed to the same biblical texts. Both Arius and Athanasius had pretty good arguments. What resolved it? What resolved it was an ecumenical council in which there was a lot of fighting, and eventually the church made a decision about what we today seem to believe, and correctly so. This is sort of obvious that Christians believe that Jesus is God. And then later on in the Council of Constantinople, they deal with the issue of the Trinitarian nature of God, and that's resolved as well. And it turns out that these are the things that we accept with our Protestant brothers and sisters, and yet they were contested. And so it shows you, I think, the necessity of not only having a belief in inspired Scripture, but also a magisterium and a seat of authority that can resolve issues over which Christians of goodwill may disagree, and especially about the content and the meaning of the biblical text.